It's Morphing time. What's up, guys? This is Lightning BS. Bringing to you my 5th video of my 2011 series, and featuring me playing as the Purple Ranger, which better be obvious. And Karnage from the last video, from Karnage BS, he's playing as the Blue Ranger, and Kid Kaz, also known as Pride, he is playing as the Black Ranger. And yeah, this is a 6-man elimination tag. Match itself happened about a month ago, I believe, a little bit after the Karnage BS. The whole match and setup what happened. And yeah, I mean, how this match came to be, how the idea of it. Me, Karnage, and Kaz were in a weekend Skype call. We were just chilling. And then Kaz, he was showing us some Power Ranger reruns on Netflix, through a video on Skype. And he just got the idea of doing a Power Rangers theme match on SvR. He's like, let's do a match, just for the heck of it. And the original plan was supposed to be a Royal Rumble with the 3 of us and a couple other guys we were trying to recruit for the idea, to do it. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. Those guys we were trying to get, they had stuff to do. So it was just the 3 of us. If I remember correctly, we had actually ended up trying the Royal Rumble. Just the 3 of us, and it just turned into a big fail because our opponent's connections were so bad. The match, lagged really bad. I mean, I don't think we even made it to the 10th entrant. The match was just it lagged completely, and we couldn't even play at all. So we just ended up leaving the match. It was quite disappointing, I'll admit. I mean, we actually started good, if I remember correctly. But nonetheless, it didn't work out. So we just decided to have a 6-man, just see how it turned out. And this is what came to be. There are a couple of things I wish I could have mentioned in the video, but knowing how I'm gonna run out of time as usual, I mean, the things I would have said would have been mostly WWE related. But I think I'm gonna save them for the next video. So yeah, I'll see how this. If I can make some time, I'll cover it at the end. If I can make it, I'm gonna see if I can do it. But I can't promise anything. I'll let you guys know. But the main topic of obviously I want to talk about this is Power Rangers. How it's been a part of my childhood. That's a lot of people I know. So yeah, let's start with that. I've been watching Power Rangers since 1996 in my country, Peru. It just started showing, around that time, even though in America it was already 3 years due. So, but yeah, I started watching it, really got hooked. Good number of reruns I watched, and yeah, and I believe it was near the end of '97. That's where it ended. I mean, in my country, so many reruns and everything. They ended up the series there. They went out with Zeo in '98. In America, I believe in the year '98, they must have been probably in the show In Space. I believe they were probably showing that, but I had just started seeing Zeo. Now, as to quickly summarize, what I thought about those two, starting with Mighty Morphin. Mighty Morphin, like a lot of people think, it's a classic. To many, it could be their favorite. To me, it's one of the top, definitely. The sagas they had. From the originals to passing the torch, to the Dragon Swords, to the ninjas, to the Shokans or whatever those guys were at the end. The big swords, the big color swords. I forgot what their name was, but yeah, and then of course the Alien Rangers at the end, and then the Rangers, trying to find the Zero crystals and everything. I mean, overall, I really thought I really loved it. Probably my favorite saga of the Mighty Morphins must have been the ninjas. I mean, I really loved it, how they transform into the ninja form and everything. It's pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, it's still a great classic to me. I mean, I actually watched some reruns recently when I could. It's a shame it's not airing on TV anymore. I mean, that would have been great. I know Disney, they were trying to do a remaster, remaster of Power Rangers. Mighty Morphin. They were trying to air it last year. But it didn't turn out that good. I think Disney just gave up with it, and thus Disney lost their rights with Power Rangers last year, and then Saban, the original owners, they got it back. But nonetheless, you know, I'll go on most likely in a little bit of detail a little bit later on. But yeah, Power Rangers Zeo, what came after in '98, I was watching that. Overall, I thought it was pretty good, but I mean, it wasn't just as good, you know, as the original. I mean, they kind of lost a little bit of their magic. Probably my most memorable thing of Zeo, and it's probably could be a lot of people's as well. Of course, the Gold Ranger. You know, Jason from the original cast making his comeback as the Gold Ranger. Hell of a comeback in my opinion. Only shame thing is that in the end, of course, you know, Jason had to, you know, give the original Gold Ranger's powers back. That really sucked. He should have been there until the end. But you know, for whatever time Jason was in, you know, he gave us a good run. And let's see. Other than that, I mean, the only other thing I really found amusing of the, you know, the show Zeo was probably there was like a wheel-like Zorg at the end, near the end. It was like a, you know, like a mini wheel sword. And it was hilarious watching them. Sometimes, you know, interfere in the matches. It was hilarious. But yeah, that was probably the other memorable thing. But yeah, Zeo ended in my country probably at the end of '98, and then in '99, while America was probably gonna start showing Lost Galaxy in my country, where they were just starting to show Turbo. And yeah, Turbo. Actually, no, I think they speed up things. I think Turbo actually aired in late '98. Yeah, because when I came to this country like in '99, Turbo was already over with. So never mind. It must have been sometime in '98 that Turbo was already airing. But yeah, Turbo was probably a disappointing follow-up in my book. They really kind of screwed up things, threw in some random stuff. Wasn't really one of those memorable things, and I think a lot of people I know actually agreed. They were like, I mean, what the hell? I mean, the movie didn't really help it that much. You know, the movie that they did before the series. And yeah, the only thing that actually was great about Turbo was the end. You know, how they were trying to do the follow-up for was in space. But yeah, you know, Turbo ended in my country, and then I came here. I was expecting to watch In Space, and then when I came here, I found out that In Space was already over. They were doing the endings of Lost Galaxy. I was like, oh shit, I came in too late. So I had to catching up to do. So yeah, In Space came in. It was another great classic, really up there with Mighty Morphin. They really did a nice job. You know, the swords, the extra character, the storyline. Astronema, of course, you know, the hot villain. Beautiful actress, I'll admit. And yeah, I mean, overall, of course, from beginning to end, I really liked it. I mean, I even try to watch some reruns of Space as well as I can. But yeah, after that, of course, came in Lost Galaxy. Not really that as high as, you know, as In Space was, but I mean, it was still pretty good as well. What was that Ranger's name? I forgot. The dude with the Toro. What was it? The Toro Ranger? Or it's the tip of my tongue. What was his name? The Magnum? No, not the Magnum Ranger. Whatever. The sixth Ranger in Lost Galaxy. Yeah, the dude with the Toro sword. Yeah, he was pretty badass too. One of the memorable things as well. Oh yeah, and of course the other thing that shocked, of course, was the Pink Ranger making that sacrifice and transferring her power to the person who used to be Astronema. You know, the actress I was just talking about. She actually makes an appearance in Lost Galaxy. But yeah, other than that, I mean, you know, the Red Ranger finishing the battle with the battle axe at the end. It could have been a little bit better. But yeah, after that, Lightspeed Rescue. That was probably one of those seasons that really didn't catch up my mind as much. Probably similar to Turbo. It had potential, but I mean, they just, you know, messed it up at times. Most of the time, I would say. Some of the acting was bad. I know some hard criticism, but I mean that's how it was in my book. Now, what came after Lightspeed Rescue was Beast, of course. Time Force is pretty much the season in my book that gives Mighty Morphin's End in Space a good run for the money. I mean, in my book, still my favorite. The characters have pretty good chemistry. The storyline itself was pretty dark, and I thought it was pretty realistic at the end. I mean, probably a lot of people were expecting, you know, the Red Ranger, Wes, and Jen, you know, the Pink Ranger, you know, to be staying together at the end, but no. Jen had to go back to her time, which was actually pretty sad. But I mean, heck, I mean that really gave us wanting more. I mean, to me it kept me wondering what actually could have happened if maybe Jen decided to stay. So, but overall, I mean, it was great. The swords, the Quantum Ranger, of course, the sixth Ranger. He's still my favorite. Badass dude. He also gives Gold Ranger a good run for his money. And yeah, Time Force was great. Now after Time Force, which by the way I should note that Time Force was actually the last season that Saban directed and produced, I believe. The Disney era came afterwards, with Wild Force, and then Dino Thunder, Ninja Storm, and SPD, and then the so on. But yeah, after Time Force, I gave Wild Force a shot. Really disappointed. I mean, Wild Force is definitely one of my least favorites. Ninja Storm was actually pretty good. It was pretty funny. A big highlight of Ninja Storm for me was probably the Red Ranger's Battleizer. It's pretty good, pretty awesome. But other than that, I mean, Dino Thunder, SPD, not really that, memorable to me. Now, what came afterwards was even worse. Mystic Force. Oh, I was like, oh shoot, I was gonna jump off the building when I watched the opening. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing this. Some people I knew were just calling those guys the Harry Potter Rangers because of the magic stuff they were doing. And then Overdrive, which in my opinion still is the biggest letdown of the whole series. Oh my god, I don't know what the heck they were thinking with Overdrive. But anyway, and then after that, of course, Jungle Fever, which was somewhat decent. And then RPM, I actually watched most of the RPM. It was actually pretty decent. It was a good last round for Disney, because after that Disney of course gave up. And then of course the recent one, which is Samurai, Saban got the rights back with Power Rangers, as some of you probably guys know. I gave that show a try. It was not as high as I thought it would be. It was a little bit disappointing. I would say some, or probably most, I will say honestly, of the acting is not as good as it should be. I mean, I know they cut off some of the cheesy lines Disney used to do, but that really doesn't help. Most of the actors are just dried up. They kind of sound like robots at times. I mean, I don't know. They really lost it, and I don't know what they were thinking. So I don't watch Samurai anymore. I think it could have been way better. So instead, what I'm doing is I'm watching the Super Sentais, the original adaptation that the Americans did for the Power Rangers. Of course, the Japanese show. They're on their 35th anniversary, I believe, right now. The Kaizoku, the Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger, I think that's how you pronounce it. The Pirate Rangers. They're pretty good. I mean, the team chemistry right now that I'm seeing in that show is like, wow, way off the roof. It really surpasses so many of the seasons that I've seen of Power Rangers. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, you guys will probably have to watch it to believe that. Yeah, I mean, the team chemistry, how they understand. I mean, they're charismatic. It's really great. I really recommend that show. I'll see if I can put the links in the description so you guys can check it out. But yeah, I'm really running out of time here, guys. This was Line BS, giving you you can say a look back and a summary of my Power Rangers experience. So yeah, take care, and I'll see you next time. Peace.